On May 6, 1884, a limping old man walked slowly into a fine office on Wall Street. His head hung low and his eyes stared blankly at the cold floor. This was Ulysses S. Grant, the great military leader who saved the nation and served as president for 8 long years. Yet on this dark morning, he was completely broken. Every dollar he owned was gone, wiped out in a single flash. For years after leaving the White House, the old hero struggled to find his place in a world of trade and cash. He was a warrior, not a businessman. He trusted people easily, believing that honor ruled Wall Street just like it ruled the battlefield. He wanted to secure a quiet future for his wife and children. That noble goal opened the door for a predator to step inside his life. That predator was a sharp young man named Ferdinand Ward. People called him the young genius of high finance. Ward was clever, smooth, and full of fake charm. He knew how to read the deep needs of older men. Ward did not just see a former president in the general. He saw the ultimate tool to pull off the biggest scam the country had ever seen. Together with the old hero and his son, Ward formed a brand new investment firm named Grant and Ward. The office opened its doors in New York with great fanfare. To the average worker on the street, this company seemed as strong as a mountain. Money poured through the front doors from wealthy doctors, widows, and small business owners who wanted to grow their savings. The rapid success was built on a deadly trap. Ward planned the deliberate weaponization of the general's name to blind every regulator and investor. People believed that a national war leader would never allow dishonesty in his house. This total trust served to facilitate a massive financial deception, hiding the fact that no real products or legal trades were happening inside those quiet rooms. Investors felt complete peace of mind when they handed over their hard-earned life savings. They saw the old general sitting quietly at his desk every afternoon, reading his paper and smoking his cigar. His peaceful face was the ultimate shield for fraud. Fathers gave their family fortunes, believing the savior of the country was keeping their money safe from harm in the big city. At first, the profits seemed almost unreal. Ward paid out giant returns month after month, leaving everyone in total shock. Early investors doubled their cash in just a few short weeks. The young broker claimed he possessed secret government contacts that gave him special rights to buy and sell supply contracts for big profit. Money flowed like water, and Ward became the talk of the entire city. The general felt a deep sense of relief during those bright months. After years of financial worries, he finally believed he was a success in the world of private business. He watched his bank balance grow and smiled at his growing family. He never questioned where the profits came from, trusting his young partner completely while Ward signed papers behind closed doors. In reality, the entire business was a classic Ponzi scheme. Ward was not buying government contracts at all. He took cash from new investors to pay off the old ones while secretly stealing millions for his own lavish lifestyle. It was a giant house of cards built on air. The moment new money stopped rolling in, the entire tower was bound to crash down to earth. To keep his dark secret alive, Ward needed a big partner in the banking world. He joined forces with the Marine National Bank in New York. The bank president helped Ward hide his empty accounts by writing fake records and lying to state checkers. Together, they shuffled phantom checks between accounts to make empty vaults look filled with gold and paper bills. While Ward bought rich mansions and fine art, the old general stayed completely in the dark. Ward played a cruel game with his partner, keeping the general away from the real ledger books. Whenever the general asked simple questions about the daily numbers, Ward smiled and gave vague answers about high government policy. Ward knew he was destroying a hero, and he did not care at all. By early May 1884, the terrible trap finally ran out of fresh blood. Too many investors asked to pull out their cash at the same time. Ward ran through the city trying to borrow emergency funds, but every door slammed in his face. He even tricked the old general into borrowing $150,000 from a wealthy friend to save the firm from disaster. The horrible truth exploded like a bomb on May 6th. The Marine National Bank closed its doors forever, sending shockwaves through the entire district. Hundreds of terrified citizens rushed into the streets, pounding on the locked wooden doors of the bank. Tears rolled down the faces of hard-pressed workers who realized their entire futures had been wiped out in a single morning. When the old general arrived at his office, his son walked up to him with a pale face and whispered the cold words. The firm was totally broken, and Ward had fled into the shadows. The general sat in his chair, staring at the empty desk in total shock. His reputation was shattered, his partners were ruined, and his family was plunged into deep shame. The financial personal hit was absolute. The general reached into his pocket and found less than $100 in cash. That small stack of paper was all the money he had left in the entire world. He had given up his personal war medals and swords to secure loans that were now worthless. The man who saved the Union was suddenly a penniless beggar. Reporters rushed to print the news across the nation, blasting the scandal on every front page. The story of the fall spread like wildfire through cities and small towns alike. Police officers moved quickly to track down the fleeing young broker. Detectives unraveled the paper trail, finding empty vaults, forged signatures, and massive piles of unpaid debts left behind in the office. The fall of the firm triggered a massive financial panic across the country. Small banks failed one after another, and Wall Street lost millions of dollars in a matter of days. Innocent families lost their homes, and small businesses shut down forever. The toxic fallout from Ward's simple greed poisoned the entire national economy, leaving dark scars that lasted for many long years. The nation felt a mixture of deep anger and profound sadness. People could not believe that their beloved leader had been involved in such a dark transaction. Some accused the general of being greedy, while others saw him as a tragic victim of a modern snake. The heavy weight of public judgment cut deeper into his old heart than any bullet ever did on the battlefield. Law enforcement finally caught Ferdinand Ward and locked him inside a dark jail cell. The smooth talker could no longer charm his way out of justice. During his trial, the true scale of his deception became clear to the world. Ward showed no sorrow for ruining his hero or destroying thousands of lives. He received a 10-year prison sentence for his cruel crimes. Left with nothing, the dying general made a brave final choice. He refused to surrender to poverty or disgrace. He decided to write his personal life story in a book to earn money for his wife before he passed away. Mark Twain stepped forward to help publish the work, promising that every penny of profit would go directly to the general's grieving family. The task was a painful race against time and death. The general was diagnosed with severe throat cancer, making every breath feel like burning fire. He sat at a small wooden desk day and night, wrapping a blanket around his weak shoulders. He wrote thousands of words by hand, refusing to rest while his throat throbbed with unyielding pain. As his voice faded away completely, he used paper notes to talk with his family. Yet his mind stayed clear and sharp as he remembered his old war victories. He wrote page after page through the cold winter nights, driven by the simple desire to save his family from the total ruin caused by Ward's cruel betrayal. Honor was the only weapon he had left. His fierce determination produced a literary masterwork that touched the hearts of millions. The memoirs became an instant sales giant across the entire country. The book generated over $400,000 for his family, securing their financial safety forever. He proved that while a crook could take his money, no liar could ever steal his spirit or his final duty. Just days after writing the very last page of his book, the old hero closed his eyes and passed away quietly. The nation mourned his passing with deep respect, choosing to remember his courage rather than his financial ruin. Millions of citizens lined the streets for his funeral parade, honoring the man who stood tall through the darkest storm of his life. The ruin of 1884 remains a stern warning from history about the dangerous power of blind trust and sudden greed. Ferdinand Ward exited prison years later, but his name remained forever tied to dishonor. The old general's memory shines brightly, not because he avoided failure, but because he fought his way out of the wreckage to win his final battle.